Hello everybody, so I got this crash report that Penguins and dot players made the server crash, and that Mealing Op4 Penguin from Day of Defeat crashes the server. So let's see. Okay, so it does indeed crash the server, and it crashes in Day of Defeat DLL. Now I don't have source code for Day of Defeat DLL, but I can see that this code is trying to read something from address 5A8, and I can translate this offset from the Windows version to the Linux version. And now I can try to find a Linux function that uses this offset. Now I can clearly see that this is a setAnimation function and that this parameter is set to null. But how does that happen? We can take a look at the calling function, and we can see that it's passing something from EAX plus 164 hexa, and that could be the player pointer stored inside a player item. We can also see that the header parameter is set to 16, which would match the player butt swing animation. Now, all these hints lead us to this function of cgarand, secondary attack. Now, in hindsight, it seems obvious because that's exactly what we were doing in the game when it crashed. Now, the real mystery here is, why does the rifle melee attack work? Clearly, the player pointer is valid at that point, but then when setAnimation is called, the player pointer is no longer valid, it's null. Now, this problem wasn't new to me because I already saw it tens of times from the crash reports, but still it was mind-boggling. How is it possible that there is a player that has a weapon, but the weapon does not have the player? And the only reasonable explanation I came up with is that the attack is removing the active weapon from the player. And that indeed is what is happening, because when the player is killed by its own attack, the code forces him to drop all his weapons in the middle of the post frame. And it is even mentioned in Half-Life SDK that you should not do this. And yet, there we are, and we need to fix it somehow. So what I do is super simple. I just hook the killed function, and if the active item has been removed during the killed function, I just link it back so it survives until the end of the post frame function. Now, did it help? Let's see. Alright, it clearly worked, so now I can just move on to different bugs, like this one, which is trying to execute code at address 0, or the other bug, which is trying to write something at address 1, and the code is in the middle of nowhere, like, well, Anyway, to finish on a lighter note, there is some footage of me playing Counter-Strike on Day of Defeat Flash. Enjoy!